Chris, what is our second main topic today?
This comes from Box Office Fan. How big was the first Knives Out? So big, theater chains are begging for part 2 to get a limited release in select theaters. Theater owners are saying they have no few new films, and a big film like Knives Out 2 should go to theaters. What do you think of theater chains upset over Knives Out, and should Netflix give it a full wide release? Was it a bad idea to sell it to Netflix to start with?
All right. Thanks a lot for sending that in, man. Okay, so here's the thing. There have been whispers and rumors, whatever, that Netflix may actually want to put the sequel to Knives Out, Glass Onion, terrible title, but maybe it'll make sense once we see the movie. Knives Out 2, I love the original Knives Out, in theaters, which I think all of us at this table think that would have been a really good idea. And we know for a fact that Netflix and exhibitors, that's another word for movie theaters, have been talking about putting it up, but apparently they have not been able to come to a deal. And it's actually a pretty interesting thing about what the main hangup of the deal is, because you would think the main hangup would be the theatrical window, the how long it has to be in theaters before you then put it out on Netflix. But it's actually something else, which is kind of interesting. This comes to us from the folks over at Variety who wrote the following. There is still a big chasm between Netflix and most exhibitors with regards to the exclusive theatrical window, says Eric Handler, a media analyst at MKM Partners. I also think you aren't maximizing profits using shorter windows. You're damn right they're not. We'll talk about that in just a second. Yet, Film Exhibition Industry Insider suggests it's not just about the theatrical window, which already shrank dramatically during the pandemic. Cinema owners are the ones who are concerned about the marketing power behind the Netflix films. An exclusive theatrical window really doesn't mean much without a direct push to get customers to theaters. And exhibitors don't want to fill their marquees with titles that didn't get a concentrated promotion for the silver screens. In other words, the theaters are saying to Netflix, we would love to have Knives Out 2 on our screens, but unless you commit to putting some money into marketing it, there's really no point in us having it on our screens. I want to cover a couple things here. Number one, the analyst, the industry analyst saying, you're not maximizing profits by trying to shrink theatrical limits. You're actually minimizing profits there. It would be a very, very good idea for Netflix to put this movie in theaters. You put this movie in theaters, I mean, other examples have already proven it. You put it in theaters first, give it its full theatrical run. When you launch it on Netflix, it will have a bigger launch on Netflix than if you just skip theaters and launch it on Netflix. That's the reality. Every single case study has proved this. If they want to have a big, big debut, I mean, listen, it's going to have a big debut on Netflix regardless. But the data has proved that if you put it in theaters first, give it a full theatrical run, get all the talk and buzz about it, and then you put it on Netflix, much bigger debut and opening for it than it would have had. So there's that. But this notion of that, I hadn't really considered this part of it. That's great. We as movie theaters would love to have it on our screens, and theaters need it. Theaters need it because right now, although the box office has been recovering, and it has, right now, box office is 30% down from where we were in 2019 before the pandemic. Now, of course, a lot of that has to do with the fact that there's over 40% fewer movies that have come out. There's less product. So the theaters need product. They need movies on their screen. A Knives Out 2 would be fantastic for that. Netflix would clearly benefit from it as well. But they're right. There's a $30 million question here. We need Netflix to pay $30 million to market it.
At least.
At least. Like, it's great for a movie theaters to put on their screens, but if nobody knows it's playing on their screens, it doesn't help them very much. So everything from the theatrical window dispute, which I think Netflix has got to get over. They just got to get over that. It will be better for them if they do. Look at the success Amazon's been having. So there's the theatrical window issue, but there's also this, you got to market the damn thing. And that is where I understand Netflix being a little bit more apprehensive, because it's like, hey, listen, we've just lost billions and billions and billions of dollars. Are we really wanting to sink? And we paid $450 million for the rights to do Knives Out 2 and 3. Are we really going to pony up another 30 just for marketing it? And It's tough. We want to take a moment and thank the sponsor of this video, MeUndies. Now, guys, we've all heard of gut instinct, but have you ever heard of butt instinct? It's when your butt tells you it wants new undies. Listen to your butt. Luckily for you, we work with MeUndies, makers of the most buttery soft and sustainable undies, bralettes, and socks that exist. Guys, for too long, I lived my life wearing those Amazon or Walmart 20-pack cheap underwear that I thought were just fine until I tried MeUndies. Now it's like my nether regions are in a Palm Springs resort. So guys, let your skin sing a song of joy with undies, socks, and bralettes that feel as if they're spun from silken clouds. Guaranteed to be the softest stuff you've ever felt in your life, their signature micromodal fabric is sustainable, breathable, and stretchy as heck. Available in sizes extra small to 4XL, they have new colors and prints dropping weekly, so there's always something exciting to check out. Try out their free-to-join membership for free shipping on every order and exclusive perks, like an item shipped to your door every month, secret sales, and early access to their newest stuff. MeUndies has a great offer for all John Campea Show viewers and listeners. For any first-time purchaser, you get 20% off, plus free shipping and returns. To get 20% off your first order, free shipping, and 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to MeUndies.com/Campea. That's MeUndies.com/Campea. Rob, you'd think it would be an easy thing, right? Oh yeah, just drop the movie in theaters. And often to us, including me, it seems like that, but I guess there are some more sticky things they got to get around. What do you take away from this?
Well, look, it's interesting. You look at, there's articles about how HBO has spent $100 million on marketing House of the Dragon. A show, a streaming show.
And look at the results.
The results are there. And like we talked about earlier before we went on this morning, John, Netflix gets money from subscribers, and they expect by releasing a movie in theaters, to them, they're like, what advantage, just because unless we get more subscribers, what difference does it make to us? I would think first, one, you'd want to defray your $450 million that you paid for this franchise. So you put it out in the theater with a big marketing budget, 30 million, 50 million, even 100 million spent on marketing. Release this like a big movie. If this is the big franchise that they think it is, you're gonna make, I don't know what you'll make globally, but maybe domestically you'll get $200-300 million. And that defrays what you've spent. Then you tell people, coming exclusively to Netflix, the hit film Knives Out, The Glass Onion.
Yeah, people who don't have Netflix went to theaters, saw it, loved it, and now it's only going to be on Netflix. I'm signing up for Netflix.
I mean, it's just crazy to me that this is not a model that is new for Hollywood. You market a film, people know it's there, you create the hype, they go to the theater, and then it creates value across the board for that film now and forever. It's crazy to me that, like, Taylor went and saw Barbarian, right? We talk about that. You said, where's the marketing for that? That movie's awesome. Apparently, Taylor saw it. Where's that marketing? No one knows it's coming. If people don't know it's coming, then how are they going to be able to go see it or even subscribe to your streaming service? Why are they going to care? If Knives Out makes a big splash at the theater, oh my God, it's on Netflix already or whatever, I'm going to sign up. Whether it's a 45-day window, a 90-day window, I don't get it. I don't understand why you wouldn't want to market your shows. I don't get it. In a theater.
It's funny? I saw a clip of Matt Damon on Hot Ones.
I saw
recently,
that clip,
right?
Yep.
And they talked a bit about the DVD model. And the DVD model is a great example of that. Back in the day when DVDs made any money. But the thing was...
And what he didn't say in that was home video as well. Not just DVD, but all home video with the videotapes as well.
But aside from the fact that they were just bigger movies, the movies that had theatrical leases always sold more DVDs.
Yep.
Always sold more DVDs. Anyway, Chris, you're seeing this. There's a lot of moving pieces here. What do you think about it?
I mean, my biggest takeaway here is I have always assumed they were going to release this in theaters, even though it's Netflix, because the original was an awards darling. It got nominated for an Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay. Ana de Armas and Daniel Craig both got Golden Globe nominations. If you want to have some prestige, which we know Netflix does, they've got Academy Award winning films on there. You got to do a release. And with something that is this big, first of all, I think Ryan Johnson is happy he sold it to Netflix. He made a ton of money.
He made ridiculous cash.
Stupid money. But this, in theory, is a relatively inexpensive franchise, right? You're not doing a lot of CGI. You're paying for talent. It's typically contained locations if it's like the last film. So This is something where I feel like you could only make money, and it's a film that people want to see in theaters. I mean, that whole whodunit Agatha Christie aspect of it, it really caught on last time with the original film. And
Yeah.
I know so many people went back to see it and catch little things of, oh my gosh, I can't believe I missed that. Now, when I saw it the second time, I did realize this moment, and I really understood this callback. And oh my gosh, I have this whole other understanding. It's a repeat view. And then when it's exclusively on Netflix, creating that value like you were talking about, Rob, people are going to come back to it over and over again. Because what do we love? Murder. Americans love murder. What do we love even more?
Murder show.
A show we've watched already, so we don't feel anxious and we feel smart while we're watching it.
John, what you brought up, that Matt Damon interview, there was something he said that was really interesting. He said it's like you open a movie twice. You had your theatrical run, and then when it went to home video, it was like we opened it again.
Right.
Whether it was videotape, the videotape market, remember, it would explode. When a new movie would come out, blockbusters were filled with racks of that new film, which means people had to buy those tapes. And with DVD, everybody was buying DVD, so it's like it opened twice. So it doubled its money. Now, when a movie goes to streaming, it essentially goes into a dead black hole where there is no extra added revenue aside from subscribers. But if you're Netflix already has a lot of subscribers. And so how many subscribers do they think they're going to get new? 5 million, 10 million? You're never going to get that based on one movie.
All right, guys. Question is for you. It looks like Knives Out is going straight to Netflix and going to get probably a limited theatrical run, probably in just a handful of theaters, but it's not going to get that full theatrical run. A lot of us were kind of hoping, and maybe it would make sense for them to do both for Netflix and for the theaters, but it sounds like there's a few hurdles they couldn't overcome. What do you think about this? What would your ideas be? Whatever those are, jump down to the comment section below and leave those thoughts there.